Happy Friday!
Friday, January the 22nd.
Oh my God, we have a special guest. Michele McConnell's here. The diva, Carlotta, Phantom.
She's lovely.
So good.
She's the opposite of Carlotta.
Exactly.
She's
and
adorable.
she's so good in the role.
You probably actually knew from Sierra's vlogs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She was great on those.
So happy Friday, everybody. Come on
Friday.
in. Come on
Come
in.
on.
Join us. Imogen, I love when you wear green.
I know. Well, I can't normally because we do a lot of green screen work. But today,
But you can do it on a very Christmassy,
I rebel. I do
moment
look like
today.
in December 22nd, but there we are. Now, can we get to the news? There's some exciting news
Is
this
there?
morning
What's
coming
most-
out of London.
what's the most exciting?
Which actually, if you've been reading the site, you probably could have predicted. First of all, Game of Thrones' Kit Harington, Jon Snow, who may or may not be dead. Anyway, he said he was the original boy in Warhorse. He originated
that's
that
right.
role.
You told us that once.
Exactly. Anyway, and
British
I've been going
theatre
on about it ad
information.
nauseum. But point being, he's been saying for a while that he wants to come back and do theatre, and he's going to do theatre in the West End, Dr. Faustus, in April, I believe it is.
So can you talk to him about coming to New York, maybe?
I am intended. Well, I want to go over there that sort of time. Well, after we finish Tony season, because I want to see Glenn Close and Sunset. And speaking of Glenn Close and Sunset, full casting has been announced for that.
Who's in it?
You can look at odds and ends
Do you,
today.
anyone you know?
Michael Xavier, Joe Gillis, Siobhan Dillon as Betty Schaefer. She was in one of Dad's casting shows.
So many
Saw that.
Siobhans in London.
And Fred.
There's always a Siobhan on a
I think
British
it's
press
probably
release.
Fred Johansson as Max von Mayling. Anyway, so it all looks fabulous. It's going to be the
That's
London
gonna be good.
Coliseum, which is huge. It's the English National Opera's venue. So exciting.
Can I
Other.
say something about Sunset Boulevard? So
Yeah.
today they had a press preview at 54 Below, and I saw on YouTube Alice Ripley sang As If We Never Said Goodbye at 54 Below. Something to look up on YouTube. Everybody
Especially
wants to be Norma Desmond.
If you're stuck in the middle of a snowstorm tomorrow.
Oh, so
great
what's the name of that
YouTube
storm? What's
Jonas.
Jonas.
So the Jonas Brothers have been getting in on the act and doing some hilarious tweeting. Anyway, the show will go on. At the moment, all
Yeah.
Broadway shows are going on. However, if you're worried about coming in, have a little look at the site. There's a list of which shows you'll be able to get refunds for and not. And
Yeah.
when in doubt, just call 1-800-BROADWAY. And
Is
they
this
will
really
sort you
good?
out.
What do you think? More or less than 8 inches?
They're saying between 8 and 12 now. They're saying it's proper blizzard tomorrow.
I'm
We'll see.
skeptic.
Yeah,
We'll see.
you normally are.
We'll see what happens.
Mark Rylance. He's going to be coming, well, it looks like he's coming back to New York on stage. We sort of
Right.
predicted this again on the site with Farinelli and the King, which was in London. And it's written by his wife, Claire Van Kampen.
Wow.
So will it be four-time Tony winner, Mark Rylance?
Can-
Four-time Tony winner and Oscar winner, Mark Rylance, because he's up for an Oscar.
He's doing a lot of film
Yeah,
work.
he is.
He's popping up all over the place.
He is.
Somebody, I went to a She Loves Me event yesterday. You guys know She Loves Me? It's like this great musical from the 60s that's coming back to Broadway. It's in rehearsals right now. It's Laura Benanti. Actually, a really funny thing happened. You know Michael McGraw, the Tony winner Michael McGraw? It's spelled McGrath. So Todd Haynes introduced him as Michael McGrath, awkwardly. And then he got up and he was kind of the MC, Michael McGraw. Just think McGraw-Hill. And then he then mentioned Laura Benanti, and Laura was like, "It's Benanti," because she's in it. And then so anyway, there's a lot of
it was a thing.
mispronunciation happening. But then they sang songs, and it was amazing. Laura, Zach Levi's back on Broadway, and my favorite since 1989, Jane Krakowski. Jane Krakowski.
She looks amazing.
I love my Jane Krakowski.
We love Jane.
And she's going to be amazing. And she said they all sang songs. And I put up a fun video earlier today. I asked them all because She Loves Me is all about dating, and they all work in a perfumery in Budapest, whatever, in Budapest, whatever, however you want to say it. That way.
That way.
And so I asked them for advice if you like someone at work, how to let them know. And Laura Benanti gave some hilarious answers.
As
I mean,
you
they're all
can
great.
imagine.
They're all
As you
great.
can
So that's a
imagine.
fun video to look for.
Meanwhile, there's a small TV thing happening called Grease Live.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Today on the site, the Culturalist Challenge is ranking your favourite Grease songs. So get to the site and start ranking your favourite songs.
It's
and
a blend.
I
It's a
kicked
blend
off
of
the list
songs.
this week.
Yeah, because some of the songs are different from the
Yeah.
movie and the stage version. There's a lot of Grease stuff coming up, by the way.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like we're putting up a fresh face with Carlos Penavega, who plays Kaneki, and then my interview with Vanessa Hudgens is next week. And then
think Aaron
there's a guy
Tveit-
named Aaron Tveit
I
that
don't
some
know
of
if
you like.
Don't know if you ever heard of
And
Aaron
he
Tveit.
answered your questions for Ask a Star, and you can look for that on Monday. I'm promising that on Monday.
So that's all very exciting.
Unless there's a blizzard. No, I'm kidding. It'll be Monday.
I think that's sort of
What
pretty
else?
much it, really.
Oh, no. There's one more exciting. There's two more exciting videos. Can I
You
tease
can
two more?
absolutely tease videos.
Two more exciting videos this weekend. Sutton Foster did Roll Call we've been doing these roll call videos. A lot of fun. She's on Younger.
big
You got to watch
deal.
it.
Yeah.
And the long, the long announced episode of Susan Blackwell, Side by Side by Susan Blackwell, featuring Leslie Odom Jr., that many of you yell at us about on this live Periscope. It will be finally going live this weekend. So if it snows, there's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do. Just
Did
go
we
to
talk about
Broadway.com.
everything on here?
Well, there's a lot in odds and ends today, but just go to odds and ends and have a read.
Right. Okay.
So I think we've
Here's a lot of
covered
great
everything.
photos. There's a
Yeah.
lot happening. I want to talk to Carlotta. Let's
Bye.
get Michele McConnell over here. I'm gonna give her the clap. Come on in. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited you're here. You
I'm
are
super excited.
phenomenal as Carlotta. And
Thank you.
I love this role. I've loved this show
you.
with all my heart ever since it came around.
Yeah.
And I love that role. It's so much fun. And you are so great in it. And
Thank you.
Are you having as much fun up there as it looks like you are?
Oh, totally.
Is it fun to be the diva?
It is fun to be the diva.
Yeah.
It's fun because it really is a little bit opposite of where Michelle lives.
Yes.
So yes, I have learned how to discover and bring out my inner Carlotta when necessary.
So how long have you been doing Carlotta?
I've been doing Carlotta for 4.5 years.
Wow.
And I've been in the show for almost 6 years. In fact, February 10th, I believe, is my 6th anniversary. So I started in the ensemble.
Okay.
And I started as the wardrobe mistress / confidant, and I was covering Carlotta, and then I had the blessing of being ready when they needed me ready, and I got bumped up.
Yeah, so is that a stressful situation? Like when you're doing it, you're kind of like, well, I hope they pick me. I hope I get to take over the role.
Well, that's a great question, because it is interesting to note from a business standpoint that it's not really a typical MO that an understudy would get automatically bumped.
Right.
So that was a big deal for that to happen.
Yeah.
As far as being nervous when it did happen, I'd had the privilege of covering for a year already.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say I was nervous. Interesting, one of the more challenging things maybe in the very beginning was when you're an understudy, one of the expectations is that you're kind of doing it the way it's already established, right? Because the scene is set and the energies and the reactions.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps one of my bigger challenges initially was, ooh, now I have permission to kind of change this or tweak this.
Mm-hmm.
And to break my habits of a year was a big acting challenge in some ways.
That's what I love about Phantom. I've seen Phantom many times, and what I love about it is it always feels so alive. First of all, the show continues to look beautiful, and it never ever feels musty. It never feels like the longest running show in Broadway history.
That's
it always
great.
feels like you're stepping into like a brand new musical. And the actors, I love how I see that. I see every Phantom's different. I mean, every Carlotta's different.
Yeah,
Every
I mean,
Christine,
definitely,
it's really great.
it's the same but different, if you will.
Yeah.
And it is very exciting. That's when cast changes can be fun.
Yeah.
What kind of new energy or new relationship will there be?
Mm-hmm.
And even within our existing cast, I mean, that's where the props go to our production team, because they are constantly challenging us to think of it in a new way or add a new dimension to it. So it never gets stale.
Somebody just said it's one of their dream roles. Was it one of your dream roles?
It was. Okay. So like so many other sopranos, initially you're like, oh, I want to be Christine. And then that's a great role, right?
Did you start in the opera world or the musical theater world?
I was actually a music education major.
Wow.
So I trained classically though.
Okay.
So most of my initial training background was in the classical world.
Right.
And then I kind of evolved into musical theater. Right out of college,
So
started doing
you wanted to play
cruise ships.
Christine.
I did, and then it's kind of interesting because I'll never forget, this was early on when my now husband and I, we were dating. This was ages ago, and we were listening to it in the car, because that's what you did in the early 90s.
I still
You
do.
listen,
I
exactly
still
right.
do.
And we were singing along, and he turns to me and he says, I mean, it was really weird. He turns to me and he says, I know you want to be Christine, but one day you're going to be a Carlotta.
Wow.
If I'm lying, I'm dying.
He saw
Isn't
that
amazing?
fire in you. He saw that
Maybe,
little sass,
yeah.
a little spice. Is it true? I know it's true because it's in your bio. You, Mary Kay?
Yeah.
I love this. I love that it's in your bio. I love that it's in your bio.
Yeah, I am.
You sell Mary Kay
I am.
cosmetics?
I'm an independent Mary Kay sales
Oh my God,
director.
I love that. When do you have time
And
to do that?
You know what? Well, nooks and crannies, and technically I'm only at the theater a few hours a day,
Right.
so I love it because it it fills my cup as far as like meeting new people. Of course, I love the products.
So like when you're
I can hook you up if you want.
Now I'm picturing that backstage, like when you're not on stage, you're like filling people's orders and like putting like that lipstick in the bag.
I kind of sort of am at times.
Really?
Yes. My dresser and my hair person, Michael and Jalen, they will confirm at Team Carlotta, as I call it, that yes, I often spend a break.
I love that.
And I have a very amusing story. I'd shortly joined the cast, and I was still the wardrobe mistress. And she initially comes out and she fusses with Carlotta's costume. And at the time, that was the amazing Patricia Phillips. And I was brand new to the cast. And Patricia turns to me, and I looked up at her, and she's like, "Stop." And I thought, oh God, what have I done wrong? You know, because I'm a total neophyte at this point. And she says, "Are you wearing false eyelashes?" And I said, how do we answer this? I said, "No, I'm wearing Mary Kay's Ultimate Mascara." And she said, "Your lashes look amazing. Can you bring me some tomorrow?" And I was like, "Sure." And I thought, holy cow, I just made a sale on the Broadway stage in the middle of a show.
Look at that.
Oh, I mean, we were totally focused in character. That's what I mean.
That's amazing. So what, like, okay, do you guys have any questions for Michelle? Look at, they're all loving you. Look at all the hearts.
Aw,
a lot of
thank
hearts
you.
coming your way.
Yeah.
It is so nice to see how lovely you are off stage, because that
Thank you.
Carlotta, she's a pill.
She is, you know, but one of the things that I love is both Andrew Lloyd Webber and Hal Prince, you know, they're adamant that we really strive to give Carlotta layers, you know, like an onion. I mean, we want to see her at some point genuinely smile or genuinely be happy, because let's face it, if she was a total, well, if she was a bitch from the very beginning, they would just say, goodbye, good riddance, don't come back. There has to be something that makes them want her to stay, right? So I think of her more like stroking the dragon, you know, you never know what's going to set her off.
I have sympathy for her.
Thank you.
She has her own story going on there.
She does.
So somebody wants to know if you have any crazy mishaps with your gorgeous costumes. I mean, your costumes are like...
They are divine.
Gorgeous.
I mean, you know, that manager's one costume, the first office scene.
Are they heavy?
They are. They're all between like 15 and 35, 40 pounds when all is said and done. But I love that silver and black ensemble. I mean, come on, she has a fur-trimmed parasol. Who has a fur-trimmed parasol?
But does anything ever go wrong with the costume?
Anything go wrong? I'm knocking on this wood table here. Actually, not really. No, you know, that's one thing about Phantom. It is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And I mean, like any show, I mean, little mishaps can happen, but for the most part, they are a rarity. Yeah.
Are there any sort of like favorite moments in your run, like great nights that you like really stand out for you, or just sort of like highlights?
Well, of course, the 25th anniversary. I mean,
God.
what an amazing blessing. You know, I remember I've never been, well, if you know the show at all, you know Carlotta basically starts off one of the major scenes at the beginning of the show, and she has what we call the cadenza, and I'm coming down stage with that severed head, and I remember before the 25th, you know, the overture's playing, and I'm thinking, I have never been, maybe nervous is the word, but I think just so intensely focused, like seriously. I think the building could have blown up around me and I would have held my focus. I understand it was one of the best cadenzas I've ever sung, so that was exciting.
I was there.
If there's going to be one, let it be on the 25th anniversary, right?
Wait, how about that party?
The party
oh my
was
God,
amazing.
At the library, New York Public Library, the whole library was like Phantom.
I mean, you should scroll back in the Facebook and look at the pictures.
Oh my
it was
God.
insane.
That was quite a night.
It was so much fun, and I got to have my parents there, and my husband was there. I mean, come on, that was amazing.
What's your favorite part of the show? Is there something like I'm sure it changes over time.
You know what? It does change, but interestingly enough, one of my favorite parts of the show, I'm not in, but it's the beginning, where the music is playing, the overture, and you've got the curtains and the lights and the chandelier coming. You know,
time travel.
And I'm just thinking, how powerful is that? And it's just light and music, but that's the magic of it, right? That you still get goosebumps when you're sitting there.
You know, there's things like that I think if I hadn't seen that when I was 15, I don't know if I would be doing what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? There's certain things you see that are just like blow your mind, and they totally like make you fall in love with this.
Let me tell you, for me, I mean, I'm not making this up. Phantom was my dream show. It was my brass ring, if you will. And you know, a few months before I was originally cast, I kind of personally reached a point where I was maybe ready to step away, you know, anybody who's been in this business
Yeah, of
knows it can
course.
be exhausting emotionally and psychologically. And the universe and God had other plans for me, and I'm really glad that I didn't walk away.
So you're a happy lady.
I am.
You're very happy with like walking into the Majestic Theater. I mean, and also that theater. I mean,
I
everything
know.
about it is like the best gig.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
The proscenium is amazing. And yeah.
What do you like about Carlotta? What's not to like about Carlotta? Come on. What's not to
Exactly.
like about her?
What's not to like about
every moment of her is great.
What do I like? What I like about Carlotta is what I mentioned earlier. I like that that I am directed in the show and allowed, if you will, to have layers.
Yeah.
Let her be a real person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, can you imagine what it'd be like to be? I mean, come on, she's Carlotta, and this girl shows up. Some guy's been like teaching her how to sing in the basement.
And suddenly,
I mean, that's come on.
yeah, it's like if you're
she'd
a
be
vice
like, "Who's this upstart?" I
Right,
mean,
it's like if you're a
I'm
vice
Carlotta.
president and someone, the owner of the company comes and says, "Hey, there's this really hot girl in the
Yeah,
mailroom, and I'm
not
totally going to give her
cool.
your job,"
That's
and you're
so
like,
not cool.
"What?
That's so not
I
cool.
worked hard to get this job."
You know, it would be a good musical, like the same exact story, all told specifically from Carlotta's perspective.
Oh, Carlotta would agree with that. Yes.
That'd be Carlotta is into that. And you'd do it, right? You're into that. You would do
I
that?
would totally, yes.
Okay,
I would. I
cool.
would work on that.
Okay, I'm
yes.
glad I put it out into the universe. Michelle, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
If I ever need cosmetics, I will let you know.
Absolutely, we have men's skincare line too.
Thank you guys for watching. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the blizzard if you're in New York.